Tuesday, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. Welcome on the show. My name is Wale Scott. Mukail, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the winner of the maiden Aisha Buhari Invitational Women Football Tournament will emerge today when host Super Falcons meet Bayana Bayana of South Africa in the final game of the competition. These are the current top two teams in Africa's women's football, and today's game is a continuation of a rivalry that goes back to the last African Women's Nations Cup in Ghana, where Nigeria narrowly beat South Africans to win the trophy. According to Nigeria Football Federation, the match will kick off by 4 p.m., with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State expected to lead the political circle that would include other big-name players to the closing ceremony. It's added that Nigeria's FIFA Council member, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, will lead up top football personalities including FIFA Secretary General, Mrs. Fatima Samura, FIFA Council member, Aisha Johnson, CAF Executive Committee member, Kanizat Ibrahim, and FIFA's head of women football, Sarah Baranan, to the executive box, alongside the full complement of the NFF Executive Committee members and management. Seun, let me start with you. No disrespect to other members of the Falcons or Bayana Bayana, but everybody is saying that this game is against two players, Oshuala and that other lady in the South African team.
Good morning, Wale. It's a pleasure joining you on the show.
Thank you very much, bro.
You are talking about Tembi Gatlana.
Gatlana, yeah.
Yeah, the former African Footballer of the Year for women.
Yeah.
There is an age-long rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa. Those good old days, we used to beat South Africa silly. But things have changed. We have struggled against them in recent times. Even the last African Women Championship that we won, we met South Africa on 2 occasions. We could not even score them. That was how difficult it was for us. But I hope the girls can get themselves back after that victory over Mali. And don't forget that South Africa also decimated, tortured, humbled, and taught Ghana a footballing lesson. And I mean the Black Queens of Ghana. They convincingly defeated them by 3-0. Again, this is a competition where you don't get prize money or you don't get improvement on the FIFA ranking. It's just for us to come have fun. But that rivalry between Nigeria and South Africa cannot be forgotten, because whoever wins today will say to himself or to say herself, we won 2 matches at the maiden competition, and the Super Falcons don't want South Africa to come and beat them. Let me also add that yesterday, when they had the recognition for the 1999 team that got to the quarterfinal of the World Cup, which is the first African to do so, I mean the Super Falcons, the Yinka Kudaisi's and the Kikeloma Ajais and all of them, they made a damning statement to Desire Elite, who used to be a former player of South Africa and now the coach of the Bayana Bayana, that remember those days when we used to beat you people. We will come to South Africa, we'll beat you. We'll come to Nigeria, we'll beat you. Anywhere we'll meet you. And they charged the Adidas Petrola-led team that give them a footballing lesson tomorrow. So it's going to be feisty today.
Okay, now, Mukail, let me ask you this question. No disrespect to other members of the team. It's 11 players on the field of play. But the whole world is waiting to watch Gatlana against Oshuala.
These players stand
The rest of the team are invincible right now.
Yes, but, you know, we like the idea of a sports team, a team sport, to be all about the team. But players do stand out, and when they do, they are the ones that inspire and get the passions rolling for the fans. And they stand as the representation for the team's strength. And so we put all of our support behind these players in hopes that if they do well, that means the rest of the team is doing well. And if the team is doing well, that means these players will do well. It may not be perfect, but it is what it is.
Now, Seun, honestly speaking, Nigeria and Africa as a continent have massive talents at the grassroots level. But some are saying that the reason why all these stars, all these countries came was because the president's wife was involved. That if it was a regular person who wants to look for talents in Africa that organizes an event like this, he won't get this so much media accolade that's getting right now?
I agree with you, and I will also say no. Reason being that if I listen carefully to the former member of United Nations, who is now the FIFA Secretary General, Fatma Samura, she said 2020 was ravaged by Corona. And so people are looking for football anywhere and everywhere. They are yearning to play football. This is about the third competition the Super Falcons will be playing in year 2021. So they are looking for competitions to play. And don't forget, Wale, any moment from now, the AFCON will start. That is the African Women's Cup of Nations. So they want to use this as a preparatory match, but not to take anything away from Ajia Dr. Aisha Buhari, the First Lady. And I like the fact that this competition will be a continuum and not a one-off, because FIFA rubber stamped it, same as CAF. And to confirm what I'm saying, we saw what happened when Nigeria took on Mali. We had Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, around, and we also had Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, around. And today, even if those two are not around, I listened to you carefully when you mentioned some big wigs that are going to be around from FIFA and from CAF. So it's a clear indication that this competition will grow in leaps and bounds. And Pinnick also said, going forward, we'll be having some European teams joining up with this competition. So I know that teams are using this as a parity game for the AFCON.
Okay, now, Kyle, initially I was born a Lagosian, but all in all, I'm a Nigerian. You know, and the good thing about this is that, first of all, it's a good thing that these ladies from different parts of the continent are in Lagos right now. Yes. The good thing is that since it's a continuum, like Seun said, maybe we're going to see next year's edition in maybe Ogun State. Maybe. Maybe Kano.
Maybe.
And that's the good thing.
Yes. It's good that it starts.
If it was the governor's wife, different case. But it's the president's wife, so he has to go around Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would even say that it really doesn't matter if it's the president's wife or if it's just an ordinary person, because the president's wife has a platform. And the privilege of her office is to do these kinds of things. It's why she's there. It's the thing that we look forward to and hope that someone in her position would do. So you use whatever you have to make the most of what is available. And she's doing that for the benefit of Nigerians, Africans in general, and hopefully all of female football as a whole.
Okay. 2 second-half goals from the delightful Princella Adubia and Vivian Konadu helped Ghana's Black Queens defeat the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon 2-0 yesterday to ensure the latter ended the tournament without a point and a goal. Losers to the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco on day 2, the Lionesses came out strong to make something out of this showpiece staged in honor of Nigeria's First Lady. But a determined Ghana erected an impregnable wall at the back and mounted an onslaught after the fire with Vivian Konadu, Elizabeth Owasu, Princella Adubia, and Nina Noshi, delighting the crowd with their skills and creation. Okay, now we saw Ghana, and they did very well yesterday. Ghana took on Cameroon, and it was massive. And, you know.
We've been blessed to watch some good female football. I mean, hopefully, what I wanted to know is, if Seun is still on the line, actually, is that how well have these other nations in Africa done in developing their female sports, that now Nigerian female footballers, the Super Falcons, have to struggle against these teams. And Ghana, the match we saw yesterday between Ghana and Mali, it shows just how far these teams have come, because they're not just winning or rolling over each other. They're playing good football.
Good football, yeah.
Competitive football. And we're getting the privilege.
This is why we have Seun Ajidagba on the show this morning. And let me read the story first and I'll ask you the questions later. Now, England earlier withdrew their men's and women's teams from next month's tour of Pakistan, 3 days after New Zealand abandoned their tour of the country amid security concerns. New Zealand Cricket said a threatening email had been sent to the England and Wales Cricket Board. Reports that a member of the New Zealand team management was told a bomb would be placed at the team hotel. England led the 5-match series 2-0. Now, Seun, before I go to the technicalities of cricket, let's talk about how badly all this politics and all that is affecting world cricket.
Unfortunately, the Indian Premier League that started on Sunday is trying to overshadow this issue. Don't also forget that after the Indian Premier League is concluded, you will have the T20 Cricket World Cup that West Indies are the defending champion, taking place in United Arab Emirates and Oman. But let me come down to the story you made mention of. New Zealand's cricket team, their female team, they said there was an email that was sent to England and Wales Cricket Board. But the investigation showed that it was not credible. But they don't want to take chances. As such, they had to increase the level of security as a precautionary measure. England are currently leading New Zealand in 2-0 in a 5-match series. And this was supposed to be the 3rd match series before that issue happened. But, you know, they are putting every measure in place in ensuring that there is no problem. Don't also forget that the T20 Cricket World Cup that I told you about that was supposed to start on October 17. England male team were supposed to go to Pakistan to go and have more like a friendly game. They have not been to Pakistan since 2005. In actual fact, Pakistan has not hosted any cricket competition since 2007 when they had issues with Sri Lanka, who visited them and their players were injured and some policemen died. So Pakistan have been playing away from home. So that would have been the first time they will visit Pakistan in 2005. And for their female, who are supposed to play the Pakistani female team, they have never even been to Pakistan before to play. But because of all these issues, they had to withdraw them and they are not going to Pakistan anymore. October 13 and 14, they were supposed to play some T20 friendlies in Rawalpindi. But because of all these issues, we just told them, stay back in your country and don't go to Pakistan.
Now, Seun, it's convenient for us to say they are professionals. It won't affect them, but it's a lie. No matter how hard it is, when you know that my team, security is being boosted around my team, and I'm playing, you will watch it. When the security around you, you actually try to secure yourself too. So you are playing and looking around to try to secure yourself. So does this get the best out of these people in the game of cricket?
It's going to be difficult because it's going to play on their psyche. Even with the heavily armed men that will be around the stadium, these guys are not used to things like this. Because let's just get into the field and play. Because you will now be like, are we going to be attacked any moment from now? You know, so those will be playing in their head that, hey, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So it has an adverse effect on the athlete. And one of the greatest players in England, Michael Vaughan, I saw his tweet and he said it's just inevitable that England will pull out of the Pakistan tour. He said, in the light of all these security issues, I don't think this is sensible and logical to go ahead. But he said he's surprised that it couldn't have been played in United Arab Emirates, where they are going to host the T20 Cricket World Cup after India was removed as host because of the hike in COVID-19 cases. That even made them to halt the Indian Premier League that was supposed to go ahead as planned because players of Chennai Super King and Kolkata Knight Riders were testing positive for coronavirus.
Okay, now, like Seun rightly said, there is no way it won't affect their play. Which means if you tell me I'm playing a team now and they know they are being watched extra because of some reasons, I can't get the best from them.
Performance is always affected by state of mind, and confidence is a big part of what allows players to go out there and give their best. When you see gunmen, even gunmen who are there to protect you, it brings the status of your own insecurity home. And it's hard to, because already these players have to deal with the drowning out the noise of crowds and fans in the stadiums. And then to have to drown out that whispering voice in their head telling them constantly, you're not safe, you're not safe. Their flight or fight response, which is telling them, run or hide, fight or hide. It's hard to quiet all those voices in your head and still focus on a game that isn't supposed to be life or death. Because sports, at the end of the day, is supposed to be a more safe replication, something that's supposed to replace war and warfare.
Now, Seun, on a lighter note now, forget all this drama. England leading New Zealand in the series 2-0. Did New Zealand have a chance in the first place?
Well, as regards their female, it's going to be difficult. If you were to be Australia female team, who are even the defending champion of the T20 Cricket World Cup that will take place in South Africa in 2023, I would have said they stood a chance, but not for New Zealand. Even their male team, as good as they are, they have problem, and it's a mental block. They lost 2 back-to-back finals. So you can compare them with Valencia of those good old days, who lost against Real Madrid and Bayern Munich in 2 Champions League back-to-back. So for them, they lost the 2015 Cricket World Cup to Australia, and in 2019, in Super Over, which is the first time in the history of cricket that the Cricket World Cup final will end in the Super Over, they lost against England. So they have this mental block that they need to get out of.
Seun, thank you very much for joining us today. You are
Wale, before I go,
yes, sir.
Please, if you have the number of Amaju Melvin Pinnick,
Yes, sir.
they had a recognition yesterday. The man who tinkered that thing in 1999, Ismail Amabo, was not invited. And when journalists ask you, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, because you like to pride yourself as NFL president and FIFA council member, you didn't have the emotional intelligence to say how that was an oversight and you apologize. You are telling us that you are not in charge of inviting people. Silly, unacceptable, and flimsy excuse. How do you bring all those players and you forgot? Because like we always say, the buck stops at the desk of the table of the coach.
True that.
So if you have missed out the coach, you even flew some people from US and you forgot the coach. Amaju Melvin Pinnick, if you can go to a shop, a grocery shop or whatever, go and buy what we call emotional intelligence.
Seun,
thank you, Wale.
Seun, before you go on the show, I am very, very sure you know, you are only being diplomatic, that my call is the last one Pinnick will ever pick. You know now. He will never pick that man. Thank you very much. Seun.
A pleasure. Thank you. God bless you guys, to the production crew and everybody. Yeah. Enjoy your show, Wale and Mikael.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. How about you? Will never pick my call. And these are the things that I talk about, that people think I don't like him. I'm always criticizing him. You bring the 1999 Falcons to Nigeria, fly some from the US to Nigeria for this competition, and you forget their coach.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, why are people complaining and defending him so hard? The responsibility, and unfortunately, it's the burden of your seat. You have to accept criticisms because that's how you get better.
He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that.
That's how you get
Liverpool
better.
assistant coach Pep Lijnders recognizes how important the EFL Cup is for developing youth players ahead of their third-round clash against Norwich City. First teamers Trent Alexander-Arnold, Harvey Elliott, and Curtis Jones, who is confirmed to be making his 50th appearance for the club tomorrow, have all gained significant experience in the EFL Cup, with Liverpool's youth setup being rammed full of talent, including 20-year-old Kaide Gordon. The club will use the competition to provide precious minutes to those on the cusp once again, according to the Liverpool assistants. Lijnders, Liverpool assistant coach on the Jurgen Klopp, the academy coach, and he sounded he said, I'm excited. He looked excited. You know, but the truth be said, this is a country, a system that has their heads on their neck, looking towards the academy already.
You know, once upon a time, it used to be that Arsenal, Southampton had the best academies in the country. Now we see that even the big clubs have are competing, not just in England, but worldwide when it comes to academy products. Liverpool, Chelsea especially, Man City have spent a bucket load of money on trying to get their academy up to speed. And we've seen that these teams now, you can see clear indications that they're ready and they're bringing young talent into the squad. So I can see the excitement in his face, I can hear it in his voice, and I can tell that this is not supposed to be a one-off thing. It's not supposed to be something that ends with Klopp and his presence at the club. This is a concerted effort across the board. And if he has been through the academy, coaching through the academy, and seeing some of these products, he has every reason to be very happy, very excited that these talents actually are there and they can represent the Liverpool spirit.
This guy says that the trophy is very important, and I say, of course it's important. Yeah. When an academy boy lifts the EFL trophy, of course it's a big thing. Yes. It's massive.
It is a big thing, and it is senior football, no matter what you say.
True.
It might not be all that big a deal compared to the Premier League or the Champions League or maybe even the Club
For their level, the EFL Cup and Champions League.
Yeah, but for their level, you're right. Even though they've probably won youth Champions League competitions in the past.
This is the senior EFL.
This is senior EFL, and the EFL is as traditionally English as the Premier League is. So they have every reason, and because if you do well in the EFL, the coach takes more notes of you, and maybe you starting regularly in the Premier League. So hopefully they will bring their A game. These athletes, these players, these young players who play like they are grown, experienced footballers.
Okay, Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa on Tuesday. Seun Ajidagba, thank you very much for putting us through the cricket brouhaha, the crisis, the who's going to win, who's going to... Seun, thank you very much.
Appreciate
it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Wally Scott. Join us same time, same station tomorrow. Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.